Recently in my sketchbook, I've been working on some animal studies. You might have seen some of them in a video or a short. I did bears, cervidae, which include deer, moose, and elk, then foxes, and then in a second video, I did dogs. And I think it's about time that I work on something that I've been reluctant to do, and that's work on some cats. So first I'm going to start off with some highlighters, some mechanical pencils, one that's ultra fine, one that's normal sized 0705, and then a normal big pen for construction lines so we can see what we're building here. I hope I give enough information that it's easy to follow and you can learn to draw a cat as I learned to draw a cat. Let's go. The first thing we need to do is start out with the general head shape. Now when drawing an animal's head, specifically a cat, we're going to want to start off with a football shape. Rounded football shape. We're going to be doing this kind of straight on, but in order to do it straight on, we have to understand that a cat's head is shaped like that. I understand it might be difficult to see what I'm drawing right now in the yellow, so I'm going to just put this into time lapse until we're ready to put in more final construction lines. So what we have here is basically a really ugly cat, but if I put in some nose parts and some mouth parts, some eyes and ears, we start to see the shape of a cat coming forth. Alright, well I think I'm going to grab a red pen here and start defining this a little better since that yellow makes it pretty hard to see, and then we can get a look at these shapes a little better. This is also how we learn to draw, is by making mistakes and seeing the shapes take shape. So as you can see here, I've made some notations in order to get a better idea of where I think I need to improve. Even with things I think I'm good at replicating or getting the imagery down, I want to take notes in my sketchbook so that I can refer to those whenever I approach this again. So that's some simplified cats. And I think with this, I can see that there's a similarity between cats and drawing all other animals. So I think I want to turn the page and work on some simplified cats. To be honest, I really like these. They're simple, but it's helping me learn about shape and form and the angles that a cat can contort itself into, which is part of what makes them cute, in my opinion, and an interesting subject matter for sketching. But I think, just like I did with the dogs and the other animals, I started off learning the anatomy, the basics, then going into a simplified study, and now I'd like to move into a little bit more of a complete rendering, still using just my sketching materials, but let's do some studies that are a little more visually appealing, and maybe there'll be sticker ideas for later on. If you're ready, these basic pencil sketches are going to help me get a better idea of where I'm going to lay down my pen lines and where my light and shadows will be in the images, just to help give me a guide. I'm using images from around the internet, including some famous internet cats. If you can think of any famous internet cats that you might like to see in another video, make sure to throw them down in the comments below. And if you know any of these, maybe throw that down there as well. Up here at the top, I wrote Taluskik, which is the Yesenichi or Tudalosiponi word for cat. And I think I'm going to do this with every animal that I draw in my sketchbook, is add the Yesenichi word for it, if we have it, because the vocabulary has been pretty destroyed over the past couple hundred years. But I'm going to add that there, and I think I'm going to take two of these green markers here and do a little visual element trying to pop that word off, and then we'll move into the rest of these cats. Using this red Bic pen, if I just make little lines, it mimics the red hairs of the cat. And the stuff that's foreshortened more close towards you, we're going to make those lines a little bit longer because that's the way they would appear visually if you were looking at something in 3 dimensions. The longer hairs would be the ones closest to you, and then the shorter hairs would be the ones further away. Once we get to the face here, we're going to want to make tiny little nick marks just to give the inference of the red hairs. These Faber-Castell Pitt pens are phenomenal. I love using them. I don't have them in every shade of gray, so I have to be smart about which colors I layer with which colors, but I think they're great for sketchbooks, and they don't really bleed through the paper to the other page, which is something that you can't say for alcohol markers or Tombos. They often will bleed through. These are phenomenal fine points, and I suggest them to anybody who's into sketching, and I just enjoy layering them. I can even layer them a little bit over top of color pencil or a gel pen that I lay down if I need to tone back a white or a little bit of a color. I don't get paid for that. It's not an endorsed sponsorship, but they're well worth the price. I'm going to use these glow line highlighters just to touch it up. These highlighters also are a pretty cool thing to use for coloring in your sketchbook. They can bleed through if you use multiple layers on top of it, but I feel like you'll start to damage your paper a little bit before you'll actually bleed through. These are pretty cool to use as well. I'm going to work on this Egyptian cat statue, and somewhere I'm going to use this Uniball metallic gold pen to do the jewelry in the ears of the cat, and then I can move around the page trying to complete as much of them, give them just a little bit of an outline, and we can go back and complete them all at the same time. Just building the parts slowly, and maybe I need to work left to right. I don't want to smear my drawings, and that is something that I have to always be mindful of. Alright, I'm going to have to take a break here. You can kind of see where the paper started to pill up, and that's what I was afraid of. I don't want to eat up my paper by adding pigment and pigment and pigment. Maybe I'll let that dry a little bit. So I think we're going to take these pit pins and we're just going to kind of do a speed run on doing some basic grays on all these cats, working all around, bouncing around the page. Maybe some big pins too. And we'll try to knock this out in a nice rendering, kind of like I did with the dogs. I think I'm going to throw it into a time lapse though, so it's not as boring to hear me pontificate and learn while I do this. If you have any questions, for sure, throw them down in the comments below, or you could reach out to me on any of my other social media. You can find me on Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter. Ask me a question there. I'd love to build a little community around this channel. As I learn to grow and become a better artist, so can you. So don't be afraid to ask a question, and I'm always willing to chat about these sorts of things. Let's get this done.
I've been driving this train, years in this lane, there's no stopping this flame. Cause I came to the game and I changed it to play how I like, rearranged it to my own domain. Yeah, I got what it takes, made lots of mistakes, taking shots, skipping breaks, feeling lost, feeling great, popping off, singing straight, never stopped, never changed. All the squad here to play and I've got something to say, yeah. I work hard each and every day, I get lost in the words I say. I don't push pause, no I push play. I won't stop till I make a change. I withdraw on the things I make. I turn flaws into flawless traits. I build tall, never capped in space. I won't stop till I hear him say, and I'm up again. I got tired eyes, need a cup of blend. That's right, in the AM, that's my only friend. No light, just the sun coming up on the horizon. I lose track of time, yeah, I move fast and climb a new class divine, yeah, true passion shines. And I'm through passing time, I choose stacking dimes. You snooze half the time while I move passing by. I work hard each and every day, I get lost in the words I say. I don't push pause, no I push play. I won't stop till I make a change. I withdraw on the things I make. I turn flaws into flawless traits. I build tall, never capped in space. I won't stop till I hear him say, I work hard each and every day, I get lost in the words I say. I don't push pause, no I push play. I won't stop till I make a change. I withdraw on the things I make. I turn flaws into flawless traits. I build tall, never capped in space. I won't stop till I hear him say,
I like him a lot. Let's finish this last little guy and I'll get you guys out of here.
till I hear him say,
Well, I think that about does it, guys. Before I show you these final shots, I want to encourage you again to find me on my other social media. I hope you guys enjoyed. I'll have another video out soon. And remember, life is what you create, so create something awesome. Now check out these final shots. big things in store for 2023. Keep your eyes open and look around.